Hello, everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 399, the penultimate episode until we hit the completely arbitrary episode number 400. So, yay. Um, something happened this week. Um, Nothing like world-shattering. There's things of actual importance that happened this week, but this is Molehill Mountain. We don't talk about that here. No, we talk about the small, unimportant, but nevertheless entertaining things. So yeah, so I think y'all know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Title Update 1 for Monster Hunter Wilds. Nothing else of note happened this week. Nothing that interests me. So let's talk about Title Update 1 for Monster Hunter Wilds. It's pretty good. I enjoyed it. It adds Mizutsune, who's a Leviathan fish monster thing, and it blows bubbles at you, and you get covered in suds, and you slip and fall on your ass, and it's really, really funny. Particularly when you get covered in suds and Mizu smacks you with its incredibly fluffy tail that I just kind of want to cuddle. Um, and you go spinning on your back in circles across the entire level because you're all sudsed up. It's hilarious. Um, Mizu is a mid-tier monster difficulty-wise. If you've played Monster Hunter before, you're probably going to have a fairly comfortable time in Monster Hunter Wilds. I dare say the only monsters in the game up till Title 1 that will make most veteran hunters sit up and pay attention would be Arkveld and Gormagala. Specifically, Tempered Arkveld and Tempered Gormagala. Specifically, 5-star Tempered Arkveld and 5-star Tempered Gormagala. Yeah, those two hit hard. Um, so, other than that, though, I've been running around in my gathering set because otherwise I end up playing the game on autopilot. Um, I've just kind of found that a lot more fun because my gathering set is pretty weak. So when I get smacked, it takes like 60% of my health away. I don't run my gathering set with like Gormagal or Arkveld. No, I put on my regular end game equipment if I'm facing up against them, or if I'm facing like maybe the tempered versions of the Apex monsters. Um, but so I was a little surprised to see Mizu being kind of a mid-tier monster. He like two or three whacks to the face and I broke his head. I'm like, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Should I go get my rarity 4 weapons? Am I being unfair? Um, but no, it's a really fun fight, and it's not very hard, but it's a really fun fight. The opening cutscene's hilarious. Um, and there's apparently a tempered version of Mizu in there somewhere. Haven't run across him yet. I imagine it's just it's just monsters wander in and out of the various maps. What happens to be there is who you fight, and Mizu hasn't shown up. A tempered Mizu hasn't shown up yet. I've seen him regular Mizu in the Scarlet Forest a few times, but I haven't seen tempered anywhere. Oh well. Jared says, "Fun fight, doesn't try to be hard." Yeah, and that's fine. I think if I got the sense that it was like trying to be difficult and just failing miserably, that would be one thing. But no, um, it's just a mid-tier monster, and that's perfectly fine. Not every new monster added to the game needs to beat you to a bloody pulp. And I imagine for gamers who are new to Monster Hunter or, have never faced Mizu before, I first fought Mizu in Rise. Um, Actually, that's the only other time I've fought Mizu. So I was pretty, I was aware of the bubble blight mechanic. I was aware of the bubbles, and that the red and the green ones are attack and health buffs respectively. I'm aware of the jet stream attack. This version of Mizu seems to be adopting some subspecies or variant like apparently there's a soul seer Mizu and a violet Mizu who have some extra moves that seem to have, their moveset seem to have been incorporated here, because Wild's Mizu is doing some things that I've never seen before, which keeps you on your toes. It's a lot of fun. It's an enjoyable fight. It's a gorgeous damn monster. Um, the equipment is a bit too poofy. It's a bit too bulky and big. It's very attractive, but ooh, the weapons are really lovely. Really like the weapons. I still need to beat the snot out of a few more Mizu, because I'm missing some whatever the rare drop for Mizu is, like the water gem or whatever the heck it's called. I don't think I've got any of those to drop. So, um, and don't worry, I will talk about Switch too, but I wanted to talk about Monster Hunter. Let's talk about something I like first. um, so in addition to also in Title Update 1, they added the Gathering Hub, which I don't play multiplayer, so that doesn't matter. I actually, one interesting thing about this game is Monster Hunter Wilds allows you to, starting in World, you have an SOS flare, and what that did was basically open up your hunt to other gamers who might be looking around multiplayer and seeing if there's some open quests that they can join. In fact, for one of the Extra Life charity events some years back, I actually played Monster Hunter World, bought a month of PlayStation Online, whatever it's called, and just joined people's SOS hunts. So that's a thing you can do. In Wilds, if you are not online, you can still fire the SOS flare, and computer-controlled characters will show up to help you out. Olivia and two other people who don't matter because they're not Olivia. Um, I tried that once. I forget who I tried it against. Probably either, I think it might have been Tempered 5-star Gore. Uh, just to see. No, it was Arkveld, because it was in the I remember it was in the Scarlet Forest. So it's Tempered 5-star Arkveld, and I was like, I mean, if I'm gonna use it, I want to try them just to see what they do, see if it's any fun, see if they make a damn bit of difference. Um, and it's actually kind of a mixed bag, because when you're a solo hunter, the monster's focused on you, which makes their positioning a lot more predictable. On the other hand, it sometimes does make it very hard to chop tails, because they very rarely don't face you. You try, and especially when you get something really big like any of the Leviathan creatures like Jindahad or Zoshia, the really big one. Um, it's a long walk to get to their ass end, and if you're the only hunter there, by the time you get to said ass end, they're like, "What are you doing back there?" And they turn around, and you're like, "Ah, come on!" And you run around them again, and you just go in circles. So it's actually easier to chop tails when you've got other hunters around for the monster to pay attention to. On the other hand, setting up punishing the monster for certain moves can be a little trickier when you've got other uh, players around, because the monster may suddenly shift its focus to someone else. You're like, all right, I'm gonna uppercut it right in the jaw, and it's like, oh, look over here, and you're like, "Oh, okay, whiff." Um, but what excites me is if they add a fight, like a fight that's meant to be a multiplayer fight, something like Behemoth or Kulv Taroth or Safi Jiva. I might actually, because we can play with PC hunters, computer controlled hunters, I might actually be able to enjoy those encounters that are meant to be played in a group. Maybe. We'll see. They haven't released anything like that yet. Um, let's see. In addition to Mizutsune, we get to fight Zoshia, who is the low rank boss, who in the base game prior to Title Update 1, you only fight once. It's a big dragon monster and it's very cool. You fight it once and you're done. You don't it's dead now. You can't fight it anymore. Doesn't seem to stop the rest of the cast, but this was one monster. You don't get to fight it again, and it has no armor or weapons. Well, Title Update 1 fixes that. Now you can fight the monster at your leisure. Well, not exactly at your leisure, when it shows up in the rotation. So far, I've only fought Zoshia, high rank Zoshia, the new one that was just added. I've only fought her once because she hasn't shown up in the tempered Mizu hasn't shown up. Zoshia hasn't shown up again. I'm like, I mean, there's plenty of other things to do. And I could constantly rest in my tent and reset things, but I've got lots of other, what is it, the hunter symbols, certificates or whatever they are. I still need like 90 of those. So that's a while. Very cool monster, Zoshia. And Zoshia wasn't like ass cripplingly hard. um I did cart one. Well, I got knocked out once. Your Palico has the ability to revive you once every hour, I think the cooldown is on. Zoshia did knock my ass for a loop, and if it weren't for that insta revive one time thing, I would have carted. So yeah, she did knock my ass around. That hunt took me 35 minutes. Granted, a lot of that was running around at the ass end of this humongous monster to try and chop its tail, and it kept turning around like it didn't want me to chop its tail. It's like, what are you doing, back? Stop it! Stop it! Leave my tail alone, pervert. Um, Very cool fight. Very explodey. Zoshia is interesting because she has a lot of very large AoE attacks that come out very quickly. And she can combo them into like 4 or 5 different moves. And it's very, very difficult to get away from all of them. Um, I imagine as I fight the monster more, I'll start to get a sense for when the big combos are going to come out. But it's like, okay, large left fist, dodge to the side. Oh, I can't dodge far enough to get out of the way. I need to know that's coming, put my weapon away, and start running before she does the wind up. Um, but that was easily, I think, the longest fight I've had in the game so far. It was a lot of fun. Uh, and this is a monster that stays in one room. It's essentially like an arena quest. You are in one room, so she's not running all over the damn map and you're chasing her down. Because anytime I have a fight that goes longer than 10 minutes, usually it's because I'm just dicking around, or because I end up having to chase the monster all over hell and back, right? Zoshia is in one room, so that's 35 minutes of pounding on her head until she gave up the ghost. That was a fun fight. I really liked that. And holy biscuits, are the armor sets, both the male and female, are gorgeous. The cats, the Palico's armor is really, really cool too. Unfortunately, I've only come across one Zoshia, so I can't make any of it yet. But looking forward to it. Although one of the one of the rare drops, the Zora gem, or Zoshia gem, whatever it's called. Uh, 3% drop rate for quest rewards and 7% for tail carve. Now, you get two carves on the tail, so that's nice. Uh, so yeah, anytime you run Zoshia, you're probably gonna want to eat whichever meal it is. Is it a Zeus or whoever gives you Pro Carver, which often gives you an extra carve, because whew, yeah, those low drop rates, man. That's Monster Hunter. Um, so that was a fun fight. I really enjoyed Zoshia. Looking forward to farming her for her bits. In addition, we've got oh, there was a fun little side quest where Alma lost her glasses. So we had to go get her glasses, which unlocks glasses for your character, either some pretty thick red rims or some very subtle thinner rimmed glasses. And I actually have Leslie wearing the thinner glasses right now as layered armor. Um, I think it looks really nice. I think because I wanted Leslie to look my age and not 16, right? I wanted her to be a veteran hunter. She's been doing this shit for years. Unfortunately, as I talked about weeks ago, you can there's a slider between smooth, fresh face and you know older, weathered, wrinkled, right? But it's like baby face, baby face, baby face, beef jerky, crypt keeper. Yeah, there's barely any gradient between baby faced and beef jerky. So I have her face as lined as I can get it without turning her into the crypt keeper. Putting on the glasses is like, yeah, yeah, eyesight's not what it used to be. Can't even see out of this eye anymore. You know, can always give her the eye patch, but everyone runs the damn Dragon King eye patch. Um, so I have her in glasses now. Additionally, they opened up the hub area, which is basically the big multiplayer gathering place, which doesn't matter to me because again I don't play online, but it populates it with all the characters you love, Olivia, and every character that's not Olivia. Um, Attractive place, lots of fun little things. There is a I won't spoil it, but look around for a hidden alcove somewhere. There is a character there who you're definitely going to want to meet. Um, they didn't spoil that in any of the marketing, so far be it for me to spoil that. There's the bowling thing, the barrel bomb bowling thing. I got an A rank my first try. Not bragging, that the thing looks it's more, it seems very close to pachinko, right? That kind of luck. If you score really high in pachinko, you don't get bragging rights. That's lucky. Same thing with barrel bomb bowling. I scored an A rank. That has nothing to do with skill. That just happened. Um, but you do get a pendant for trying it the first time, and you do get something extra if you A rank, so keep going for it. Let's see what else. Oh, so we've got some arena quests which force you to basically they give you a loadout and throw you in the arena and go beat this monster with this loadout in a certain amount of time for rewards, right? And different monsters will give you different tokens or coins or whatever they call them. And getting these unlock even more armor sets or fashion options. So you get a really cool. You get the guild outfit, but you also get the desk reception people's outfits, which is really cool. I really like the hats. It's the visor hats. I'm gonna have to craft one of those. I think those are funny. I want to wander around with the visor hat. But you also can make some pretty snazzy looking earrings too, and that's neat. Let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, the diva popped by to give a performance, and you can watch the performance. And if you do, it buffs your attack and defense. I don't know by how much because I didn't make note of the numbers before I watched the performance. So who knows? I don't know if you have to watch the entire thing. It is a little awkward because she's standing up there and she starts singing, and you sit down and you watch her. It's a really lovely little song. If full length, fully produced song, it's like 2.5, 3 minutes. And they animate her. They animate her jaw trembling from vibrato, right? If you watch, I don't know, any singer who belts, if you've ever watched um, Whitney Houston singing I Will Always Love You, and I, will always love you. You could watch her face. When she hits those powerful, uh, ba, ba, you can see her jaw vibrating from the vibrato, right? They actually animate that into the character, and it's like, that's a nice little touch. They have it on phrases that are soft and quiet enough that I don't think her jaw would be vibrating, but she's a Bavarian, so maybe her physiology is a little different from mine. Don't know. But I really enjoyed it. It's a fun little stage show. What is a little odd is that when she's done, she just kind of like folds her arms in front of her and then just bows kind of, but then she just awkwardly stands there for the rest of the night. And I'm like, it's that awkward moment if you've ever been to a show and you hit a point of a song where it like feels like this could be the end, but it might just not be, and everyone's going like, I don't know if I should clap here. Is there more? Is it okay to clap? Maybe. Oh, you're still going, right? It's no. She just awkwardly stands there all damn night, and all the other characters are standing there watching her, and I'm sitting there, I'm looking around it. I'm like, I don't know. Is it rude to get up? I mean, are you done? I don't know. It was pretty funny. Hey, Chicago. Chicago. So let's see what else is going on with the Wilds. Arc tempered Ray Dow apparently will show up later in the month, so I'm looking forward to that. Ray Dow is mechanically a very cool fight. Has a lot of really neat moves. I love the if you fought like Rathalos, the Wraths, they have a lot of moves where they will bird of prey rush you with their talons outstretched. If you've ever seen like a falcon or something dive bomb at the surface of a lake or something, and then it brings its back end forward and sticks its claws out. You know that move where it's going after a fish, or maybe a bunny running across the land or something like that. The Rathalos and the Rathian, they do the same thing. They like come after you feet first. They have a lot of dive bomby attacks like that when they're in the air. Ray Dow has something similar, except he extends his wings and then turns and then drags one of his wings along the ground to try and I guess bisect you. It's really an interesting move. Fun fight. Monster Hunter Wilds. I like it. And I'll probably be playing more of it tonight. Hopefully, tempered Mizu and Zoshia will come around in the rotation, but if not, plenty other materials on my wish list that I need to farm, so. Alright, so, let's talk about Nintendo Switch 2. Last week, they talked about, well, they had a Switch, they had a Switch Direct, and they talked about a lot of games that were coming out, Switch games that were coming out through the summer, and then they showed off a little bit of Metroid, but didn't date it any further than 2025. And now I heard the rumors that Switch 2 was going to be a June release, and indeed it is. Early June, June 5th, if I'm not mistaken. But I thought it more likely that Switch 2 was going to be a fall release, and it would come out alongside Metroid Prime 4, which would, like Breath of the Wild before it released roundabouts March 2017. It came out on both the Wii U and the Switch. I figured Metroid Prime 4 would come out on the Switch and the Switch 2. This probably September, October, somewhere around there, along with the Switch 2. Nope. Metroid Prime 4 is indeed coming out on both, but it's probably not coming till after August, and Switch 2 is coming out June 5th. So, okay. Let's see. Chicago says, I don't like that they're charging $80 for Mario Kart World. Nobody does. Donkey Kong Bonanza will be $70. I don't think anyone likes that either. That's not including the stupid tariffs. Yeah, Nintendo was opening pre-orders this coming week, and it just said, yeah, we're not doing that now. So, no, as a direct response to, yes, these stupid tariffs. I'm looking at my 401k and my 403b, and I'm trying to look on the positive side and think it's like, wow, all the money I lost. I mean, I feel kind of good about myself that I had that much money to lose in the first place. You know, it's like, yeah, I was heading in the right direction. So yeah, I am in this, same boat as everyone else. My 401ks or 401k and 403b have dropped 7 and 8% over the last month. So that's not fun, but I also have decades ahead of me before I retire, so there's time to turn that around. I know a bunch of people who are retiring this summer. Debbie and John are that I work with. They're both retiring this July. Hopefully, all their 401s and 403s and 457s, all that shit. Hopefully, they have most everything in bonds and not stocks. Because, yeah. So, but let's talk about more fun things like video games. Let's see. Pre-orders delayed. Yeah, I hope they don't raise the price higher. Says Lee. You never know. Chicago says, I don't even want to look at mine. Yeah, you know what? I mean, if you're my age or younger, don't even look at it. It's just going to depress you. I mean, if you're older than me, you're probably gonna have to take a peek and make some hard decisions. But sadly, says ETH Demon, the Switch will now cost $600 thanks to the stupid tariffs. It may be, yeah. So I got up at 6 in the morning to watch and record my reaction to the Switch 2 Direct, because I'm a big old dork. Now, I saw the I knew what the Switch 2 was going in. I knew it wasn't, broadly, the hardware was something I was not really interested in. It's Switch 2. The Switch is not for the big selling points of the Switch are not selling points for me. So this big selling point of the Switch 2, still not a selling point for me. I've come to accept that. That's fine. I will never be excited for Nintendo hardware again. Oh, woe is me. The GameCube! The GameCube was the last Nintendo hardware that excited me. It's been decades. Ah, I guess I'll just have to console myself with awesome games on hardware that's not as powerful as it should be, but yeah. So so I got up at 6 a.m. to watch this because that's what time it started streaming in my time zone, and I recorded my reaction because I was like, all right, hardware's not there, but this is the games direct. It's an hour of games. It's all about the games. So this is the thing I'm into. You'll notice that I didn't actually release that video. Was it because I'm lazy? I mean, I am lazy, but no, it wasn't because I'm lazy. It was because it wasn't fun. And I have a pretty flat expression if I'm not performing anyway. But it was clear that I was getting really annoyed. Um, I didn't think it was a very good show. There wasn't a lot that appealed to me. It was also 6 in the morning, and I'm not a morning person. And also, unfortunately, Nintendo's streams suffered from some really severe technical issues for the entire hour. Uh, Most notably, the audio was delayed by about a second for the entire hour long stream. Um, Also, about 2/3 of the way through it, the video stopped and the audio kept playing. So I heard about Cyberpunk 2077, and I heard about Final Fantasy VII Remake Retrograde? That's not right. Something like intergrade something. So I heard about those, but I didn't get to watch them because the stream screwed up. And shit happens, you know. One of the years during my Extra Life stream, everything crashed and it took like 4 hours to get it back up. It's okay, these things happen, but they do aggravate me because I've got a nasty little temper. And it was really clear reviewing the footage that, my face was turning from just it's 6 a.m. and I'm tired and I don't emote when I watch things, I just absorb, to actively annoyed, and that's not fun. I didn't want to put that out there. And also I didn't have a lot of nice things to say anyway. So that's why I spiked the video. I should delete it because it's taking up space in my hard drive. Lee says, not worried about the price of the Switch 2 games. Gonna wait till Black Friday and Cyber Monday when they have sales. Good luck with the Nintendo first party stuff. They rarely ever drop the price. Nintendo will probably realize that the majority of the world can't afford any of their games a year into the launch. It's like, hey, the Americans aren't. Well, it's not just America. It's global. Um, uh, sadly, America, my country is not content flushing ourselves down the toilet. We're dragging as many of you down with us as we can. Sorry. I mean, I went to a protest today. I'm helping. you know, uh, you know, um, as just a dude, it's frustrating that you don't have a lot of power. I mean, what can an individual person do? You can protest. You can you can contact your elected officials and tell them to do their fucking jobs. If my supervisor had to contact me every week multiple times to tell me to do my fucking job, I don't think I'd have my fucking job. Luckily, I live in Southern California, so I don't have to yell at my elected representatives as much as many other people probably have to, but yeah, I mean, no one's perfect, but when you trip over a bar that's like 6 feet under the ground, I'm going to be critical of your job performance. So that there's that voting, of course. There's volunteer work for causes and organizations that you feel can help other people. There's just donating items or cash to organizations and people and services and stuff that you think can help others. So it's not like there's nothing individuals can do, but it sure does feel like it a lot. Anyway, video games. Jesus Christ. uh, Lee says, why wouldn't the Switch excite you? The Switch doesn't excite me because the main selling point of the Switch is portability, which is a feature that I personally don't value. It's just not something I care about. Right? It's like I'm trying to think of an analogy here. It's like if the Nintendo Switch 2 um, cost $50 more than it otherwise would because it comes packed with a jewel-encrusted butt plug. It's a really nice butt plug. It's sparkly and attractive. And I'm sure a lot of people will get a lot of meaningful use out of the sparkly butt plug. But I won't. Because I'm a loser, I guess. It's just of no interest. It's just not something I'm interested in. It's like, well, I've got this new console with a butt plug that I'm never going to use. And I either had to pay more money for the console that, to justify the price of the included butt plug, or they had to scale back the technical, the graphical display capabilities of the console in order to afford packing in the jewel-encrusted butt plug. And that is a primo butt plug, but I don't want one. That just doesn't appeal to me. That's not to say that no one else is going to get any use out of it, or no one else should, or that no one else should enjoy it. It's just something that I personally have no use for and don't want, and would rather a cheaper version of the console without the sparkly butt plug, or a similarly priced but more powerful version of the console that outputs better sound and visuals just without the butt plug. A feature that does exactly what it's supposed to and does it very well, but is just not something that I care about. So the Switch portability is like a jewel-encrusted butt plug, is what I'm saying. Let's see. Lee says when I was a few exciting games. Oh, Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yeah. Last week, Nintendo announced. Week before last, Nintendo announced a new Rhythm Heaven. Yeah, that if I weren't a emotionally stunted dipstick, I'd be like, happy noises. So that excites me. You probably can't tell, but it does. Very excited. I'm as excited for Rhythm Heaven Groove, I think it's called, as most other console aficionados would be to have a jewel-encrusted butt plug. I know it appeals to most. I know I'm the odd man out. I'm just a weirdo who doesn't want a butt plug. Even though it's jewel-encrusted. It means nothing. But it's like, but Andrew, jewel encrusted. Like, I genuinely don't care. It's not something I value. And this week, always been looking forward to Metroid Prime 4, and very nice to hear, or at least infer, that Retro Studios didn't all die in a tragic gas leak 6 years ago. Apparently, they're all still alive and making games, so that's great to hear. Um, and then they capped off the show with Donkey Kong Bonanza, and I really like that name. I think that's pretty funny. And that looks fun. I think the trailer could have done a bit more to really emphasize the selling point of that game, which is Donkey Kong can literally break every level he's in by just punching the ground. They show it off really well in the treehouse segments, but that you saw some. It was surprisingly subtle in the actual trailer. So yeah, generally for me, my big games, Rhythm Heaven Groove, which I'm sure will have some enhancement on the Switch 2. Wasn't actually talked about as a Switch 2 game. Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong Bonanza. Not Bonanza, but Bonanza. Like banana, just you jam a Z in there. It's clever. It works a bit better spelled out than it does sounded out, but, you know, whatever. Still fun. Let's see. Let's see. You notice that the visually impressive games are the ones where the video got stuck? They didn't want us to see how poorly it runs on Switch 2. Eighth Demon says the VOD's fine, so it was just the... Yeah, it was just a stream. I went back and watched the... I didn't rewatch the whole thing. But I did rewatch the bit that got stuck. So yeah, it was just a technical issue with the stream itself. So it wasn't like Nintendo didn't check the video before they started streaming it. It's a thing that happens. It's unfortunate. Yeah. Let's see. Heath Demon is talking about what can one person do. He adds another one onto the pile. Well, we can say I told you so. It's not particularly helpful, but sometimes it makes you feel better. I told you! How would I know that exactly what you said would happen and what they said they were going to do is exactly what would happen and what they do? Oh, I mean, I knew this horrible stuff would happen to you. I don't like you. I didn't think it would happen to me and the people I care about. Not endearing yourself to me. Anyway, let's see. We need a do-over button, yeah. Hard to be excited for video games when we won't be able to afford them, yeah. It's a more powerful butt plug. Yeah, it's like jewel encrusted, and it's got the new linear rumble motors in it, right? Instead of the mechanical spinny ones, it's the linear magnetic one. It's like it feels like there's, you know, you shake it and it feels like a maraca full of sand. Oh my gosh, this technology is amazing. Um. You don't know what the plug is supposed to reference? I don't either. It's just a really dumb analogy. Um, let's see. They made a version of the Switch code Switch Lite. I stayed in my house. I was outside today, and I didn't like it. I was actually the protest last March was as you might expect downtown. So while I was after the event, I was walking back to my car and I parked up by Balboa Park because free parking, big parking lots. And I thought since I was over there, I checked out. The city just redid the botanical building, so I went over there and checked it out, and there was a. I walked over there and I looked down and went, this looks exactly the same. And then I kind of mentally kicked myself. I'm like, mean, that's literally the point. You know, it's a restoration. You know, we fixed the bill. It's not a new. It wasn't supposed to be sparkly and shiny like a jewel encrusted butt plug. It's just supposed to be the historic building, and but now it's not going to fall on the people who are oohing and awing the nifty plants they have inside. And I saw a lady in a big poofy dress, and it was cool. I don't know if she was like getting married or something, but it was a big poofy dress. It was red and black, very very vibrant and striking. I looked at that dress and I said, "That'd look really good on Leslie in Monster Hunter Wilds." um, and WarioWare Rhythm Heaven crossover. There you go. There were a million people watching. Traffic likely caused the issue. For the stream, possibly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying not to. You know, I'm not like, oh, Nintendo dropped the ball here. Shit happens. It's fine. Maybe you should. Maybe I should ask Nintendo to make you a TV version of the Switch 2 with all the handheld stuff taken away. That might excite you. I actually talked about that on social media. I said, if there were a, you know, if they had in the planning stages, right, you know, if they had decided we're going to have two SKUs here, we're going to have the Switch 2 as, you know, we know it today, but we're also going to have a second SKU that's the Switch 2 that's TV only. It doesn't undock. There's no screen, speakers, there nothing on the Switch. It's just a console that plugs into your TV. There's no Joy-Cons, no detachable Joy-Cons, no second screen, no undocking. It's just a TV console, right? And it came with the Pro controller. How would the price compare? I don't know. Would it be cheaper? Maybe. Would it be significantly cheaper? Maybe. Um, if there were a non-portable version of the Switch 2 that came with a Pro controller instead of the Joy-Cons, and it was like cheaper, like even $50 cheaper, yeah, I'd be all over that. Because the only time I undock my Switch is when I do stuff like this to like show something for, you know, if I want to talk about the controllers or something. This is like the only time I undock it, because that's how I game. When I game, I sit on the couch and I play on my TV. I don't commute, so I'm never on a bus, I'm never on a plane or a subway or anything like that. And I live alone, so the TV is always available to me. So, to be clear, I'm not saying that portability has no value. It has tremendous value to a lot of people, just not me. Um, so I don't know if there were a non-portable version. Although I did also make the joke that because we did have the non-dockable version of the Switch, right? The Switch Lite, I think someone mentioned, which was just a regular handheld Switch that doesn't have a dock and doesn't plug into the TV. So it's like, if we can do that, we can have a TV only version. And you could call the TV only version the top, the portable version only the bottom, and the regular version the Switch. I'm very funny. Um, let's see. The fact that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be complete on a 64 gig cartridge is impressive. Okay. I personally love a strictly TV version of Switch and Switch 2. Yeah. I don't take my Switch to bed. No. If I don't play games in bed. Like, even my the reclining is just not. I have the hand, like, I'm currently playing my sister bought me Luigi Mario Partners in Time. No, what the hell is it called? It's a 3DS game. I forget which one it is. Um, Whichever one it is, I'm playing it on the 3DS because it's the console it's on. But I play it sitting on the couch there. And I really don't like playing things on the handheld because it's just not comfortable to me. I, you know, I've actually tried like laying out on my bed, and I have a bed that actually the frame that it sits on is motorized, so I can prop myself up, which is really useful when my allergies are bad and I can't breathe. So I can, I don't have to prop myself up with pillows. I can just lift up the head of the bed, which is really nice. I cannot find a comfortable way to play a handheld in bed while reclining. To me, it's just not comfortable. And I'm not very comfortable. See, playing console, I'll sit here for hours. Or here in a chair. I mean, I'll do that too, which you see on the Sunday stream. Um, but I can only play the handheld for like maybe 2 hours at most, which actually works out well because the battery doesn't last much longer than that. Be interesting to see how long the Switch 2's battery lasts. I looked at the specs and it says 2 to 6 hours. I'm like, well, there's a range. All right. Guess it depends on what you're doing. Um, Long time ago, says Lee, I went on a lot of vacations, needed a handheld, but nowadays I'll go on vacation. I stay at home and useless for me because I mostly play on TV. Yeah, if you travel or if you commute or if you have a bunch of people in the house, I imagine portability is a godsend. But that's just not my life, so that doesn't work for me. It's like every time I keep seeing video. I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but I do occasionally see videos in my YouTube recommends of people sitting in a car. I Hopefully they're parked and not like driving. I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but I'm sure it's very interesting. But I see these and you'd think if I had questions about these, I'd actually like watch them and maybe learn the answers, but I never do. I just scroll straight past. But I always wonder, I'm like, why are you filming in your car? Why are you doing that? I don't want to go out to my car and film in my car. And then I think about it, I mean, maybe they have, you know, roommates or kids or barking dogs, and this is like the only quiet space they can find. So, I do sometimes fall into the trap of everyone else's life works exactly the way mine does. And then I have to mentally kick myself and no, that's not how that works. Other people have, different situations that they have to navigate. So, anyway, it's kind of like what other video I see a lot of videos that are ending explained. And I would assume, because it's always like movies, the Super Mario Brothers movie, ending explained. It's like, do you really need to explain the ending of the Super Mario Brothers movie? I'm like, I'm assuming that all of these are just, we're just going to tell you what the ending of the movie is because you didn't go see it in the theater and you don't have whatever service it's streaming on. But you want to know what happens. And unlike a, IMDb or Wikipedia summary, we have visuals. I would assume that's what most of those are. Now, there are some movies that are like maybe a Terrence Malick movie or something like that. Ending explained. Okay, sure. But a lot of movies, Paddington in Peru, ending explained. Really? You really think there's a big market for an ending explainer for Paddington? Is the plotting that dense? I have not seen any of the movies, so I don't know, and I'm not going to watch any of the Paddington movies because they are beloved, and I'm afraid I'm going to hate them. And I don't want to be the guy who hates Paddington. I don't want to be that guy. I am that guy in so many other situations. I really don't want to be that guy as well. I talked about this on social media too. I stopped watching Apothecary Diaries sometime last year. I'm about halfway through season one. Love the show. Really, really liked the show, but I stopped watching it, and it took me it took me a spell to realize why I did. One of the myriad things I genuinely love about the show is the fact that Mau, our protagonist, is genuinely physically put off by the story's love interest. His name starts with a J. I can't remember his name. You know, he's the pretty boy that everybody absolutely fawns over, right? She's just like, nope. And he's like, hey baby, and he like puts his hand on her shoulder, and she's just like she has like a visceral physical reaction, and she's like, oh, go away, don't like you. I love that. You never see that, and I am so deathly afraid that they're just gonna fall for each other and they're just gonna be a couple, and I don't want that, so I stopped watching the show. I denied myself every other good point of the show on the off chance that these two people would enter into a consensual, happy, and mutually beneficial, loving relationship. I don't want that. I want her to continue to be physically repulsed, and I want him to know it. Other than that, really good show though. Oh, while we're talking about anime, I think Jared's in the yeah. Um, finished the first season of Oshi no Ko. I think that's what it's called. Really enjoyed that. Um, Unfortunately, the second season and I'm not sure if I forgot to look. I'm not sure if it's a movie or if it's a live action series. Both of which I'd like to see. They're just not on services I have access to at present. But yeah, really looking forward to seeing where that one goes. I think probably the worst anime I'm watching, although it just finished, the worst anime that I'm watching that I'm just really enjoying despite it not being really any good is Solo Leveling. Like most everyone else, I love the show. I really enjoy it, but it's not a good show. Which is kind of a weird thing to say about a show that you're genuinely enjoying. I mean, it's got to be good. You're enjoying it, right? Yeah, but I think more could maybe something's lost from the original. I'm assuming it's an adaptation of a manga. But there's just there's like no character and almost no interpersonal relationships at all. There's a little bit. There's like the bare minimum. For example, one of the driving motivations of our protagonist is my mom is in a coma for some reason, and I'm going to work to get the resources I need so that she gets the health care she needs so that she gets out of the coma. The story gives you nothing other than the familial relationship between the two, which we all have mothers, unless some of us were grown in test tubes, I suppose. Or maybe not all of you are human. So I think most audiences are like, hey, I know what a mom is and a relationship to a mom. I get that. You don't actually have to show me anything else other than, oh, that's mom? I get it. That's all I need. Now let's stab a giant monster in the face. And yeah, it works. I'm still really enjoying the show. I just kind of wish there was more actual story and character and relationships and drama other than monster go stab. It's but I mean, I guess it's like a chocolate, but boy, I'm great at analogies, aren't I? The port switches portability is like a jewel encrusted butt plug, and solo leveling is like a plain chocolate bar. It's not fancy, it's not complex, but it's still a bar of chocolate, and I'm still going to eat the entire damn thing. Oh, it could be so much more. There's so many things you can do with chocolate. But I could also eat the plain ass chocolate as it is and be perfectly happy. And that's kind of how solo leveling works for me. It's just a plain ass bar of chocolate, which may sound a little dull, maybe not particularly creative, mayhaps even uninteresting, until you remember it's still a bar of chocolate. And unless you have specific allergies or taste buds that are different from my own, that's probably going to be enough. What about a chocolate butt plug? um, boy, and I had to really think about an analogy. I was thinking about that for a good, 30 seconds and landed on butt plug. Yeah, don't quit my day job. Because I'm certainly not going to get one making analogies. Let's see. Mario Luigi Dream Team. That's what it was, Chicago. Thank you. I had in my mind Partners in Time, which I think is like the second. I think there's Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, then Bowser's Inside Story, and then I think Dream Team is the one I'm playing. Chicago says I can't recline and play either. I usually just lay on my stomach and play that way. Of course, then my neck and back start hurting. Yeah, I've tried that too and just didn't like it. My forearms start falling asleep. I have to let me well actually I can demo with this. I have a big fluffy pillow in it's more like a throw pillow that I have in my bedroom, and I have a really nasty habit of, particularly in the colder months, I move around a lot when I sleep. I lay on my back and then I flop to my stomach. But when I'm on my stomach, whichever side I'm favoring, I will grab the covers and I will pull them in like this. And after a while, that will make, because the way I'm laying, I've woken up in the middle of the night with my arm absolutely numb. Can't feel a damn thing. So I have my fluffy throw pillow. This is better. So I can grab the big fluffy pillow, and I'm not bringing my entire arm all the way in and laying on it. I'm just kind of grabbing something so my arm doesn't fall asleep. Because I'm like, oh man, I better not do that. One of these days I'm going to sleep all the way through the night, lose circulation in my arm, and then I'm going to have my fingers amputated or something. Lee says, yeah, you don't want to see Paddington. They changed it just avoid it. Oh, she still trolls in season 2. So I'm safe to keep watching Apothecary Diaries? Okay. Let's see. Jared says, solo leveling show does cut a good amount of the side character stuff out. Maybe I'll see if my library's carrying the solo leveling, because I'm really enjoying solo leveling. I do want to make that clear. I really am enjoying the show. It's very kinetic and fast paced, and the choreography's cool, and the monsters are nifty, and although the one weird that they had like a waifu demon at one point, which I was like, oh, she's going to be a sidekick, isn't she? But no, she just kind of disappeared with the story. I'd be surprised if she doesn't show up again. But he's making it through the 100 level thingy, and then he fights one demon, and then she takes off her helmet. She's like, "Don't kill me! I'm enemy waifu." And he's like, Oh, well, yeah, can't kill anime waifu. And just nothing happens there. Like nothing comes of this. There's a bunch of characters and there are hints at relationships, but like there's nothing is done with any of this. So hearing that there's a lot of actual character and story and stuff in the books, that doesn't surprise me. Is it good or is it just like really bad and that's why they cut it out? It's like no one gives a shit about characters talking to each other. Go stab monsters. Um it's a manhwa, so may need to find a site for it or physical versions. Okay. Just out of curiosity, let me look, see if my library, because they've my library's not doing bad with um with its comic books. I'm curious. Let's see. Comics. Solo level. Is the they hadn't changed the title. Would the English version still be called Solo Leveling? Or should I be looking up a different title? Well, it's certainly not under Solo Leveling, so maybe it's under a different name. All right. I think the first part of my reaction to the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, I think the turning point where I started turning against it is when Nintendo dropped that, what is it called? The demo thing. Where's my mouse cursor? There we go. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour is a paid digital download. Yeah. I was like, are you falafeling kidding me? That? That is a paid download? You I mean it comes off more as a digital instruction manual than a video game. You're making people pay money for it? From what I hear, someone found a listing for the Japanese version and doing the conversion is probably only going to be $5 or $6, but still, really, really, really. I think that was the point where I was like, if I was like this before, well, I was like this now. It's like no, no, you lost me. See this? I'm leaning back. My arms are crossed. Oh, you done messed up now, Nintendo. You're gonna have to work really hard to get me back on your good side. Um, it's the same. Okay. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for it. I actually read Attack on Titan. I actually read that before because the anime went on hiatus for several years. Um, and that one's like nearly page for page the same. Um, there are some differences. There's a couple things are told in different order, and a few things expanded upon, but mostly the same beat for beat. Unless they really changed up the ending, because when I read it, the book hadn't finished, so I don't know if there's a difference between what's in the book and what was in uh, the animated show. I did not like the ending of or rather the last arc of Attack on Titan. I really liked Attack on Titan for its first several arcs. Basically, right up until you find out what's really going on. Because what's really going on is so obvious and uninteresting. It's like, oh, it's just bigotry. It's just complete, sincere, unmotivated, unnecessary bigotry. Oh, well, that's got enough of that. That's not very fun. Man, it's such a cool show though because it kept it kept revealing new interesting twists and mysteries, and it's like, oh, why this, and oh, what are the implications of this, and it's just like, ah, no, just a bunch of peoples being bigots. That's it. We just hate these peoples because they're different. We want them to suffer because they're different. Oh, if we didn't do that, then they I'm sure they'd do something, but that's really, I don't like it. It's not bad, I just don't like it. Still some cool stuff in it though. But anyway, that's a little after 8. Yeah, I didn't talk much about Nintendo Switch 2 because it's just not much that it's a little more expensive than I thought it would be. I was thinking probably be about 399. Maybe it would push up into like the 429 territory or something. You know, having it in putting it up in like 479 with a pack in or something like that. So yeah, it's a bit more expensive than I thought it was going to be. Um, Coming out earlier than I thought it would. Um, Looks to kind of hard to tell because YouTube compression and stuff, but the first party Nintendo stuff looks nice. It's vibrant. It's colorful. It looks good. It's also very simple, so it doesn't really surprise. Metroid Prime, they say, is running at 4K 60 on the Switch 2, and when docked anyway. What that tells me is it's just the Switch version. It's like, yeah, it's just we didn't do anything new with the Switch version. It's just running on the Switch 2, and there's enough overhead to get a 4K 60 running. I mean, it did look noticeably better in the footage I saw. So, I mean, Donkey Kong looks vibrant and colorful. Mario Kart looks vibrant and colorful. I believe they're running at 60. I think and at least 1440. Not quite full 4K, but like 1440 or something like that. I believe that because those games they look really nice, but they're simple. Mario Kart's big open world, but there's not a ton of stuff in it, and the stuff that's in it is pretty simple, right? It's not overly complex. But we saw a lot of one of the earliest first here's big games from other people games was Elden Ring, and that looked like shit. So much like shit that I think there might have been a problem with the way it was streaming or the YouTube compression or something. Because, and again, the game's like 3 years old also, but I was like, oh wow, that looks really bad, and the frame rate is terrible. I hope now a bunch of the other third party stuff didn't have that same problem, so might have just been that video files upload. I don't know, but who boy, that did not start off on the right foot. Because let's see, yeah, because we got all the Nintendo stuff. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Kirby, Metroid Prime, Pokemon Legends, Dragon Drive. Man, Dragon Drive is such a cool idea. Although it is kind of funny that I watched the Nintendo Treehouse Live segment on Dragon Drive, the wheelchair basketball game, and they were going not only the Treehouse presenters, but the marketing that I've seen, they're going out of their way in a noticeable way to not say wheelchair. Oh, these aren't wheelchairs. No, these are, I forget what word they have for them, but it's like, guys, those are wheelchairs. Lean into that. That's awesome. Um that is not an attractive game. It's a really cool idea. I really like that. That's super awesome. Uh, but I mean, like it takes place in a very simple, very sterile court. There's no audience. There's no environmental detail. There's very little in the realm of like effects. The animation is genuinely quite poor. It might be early. Did they have a release date on this? It's summer 2025. Particularly the way the arms move as they grab the wheel. I think they're trying to map it to the moving Joy-Cons, and it's just really jerky and weird. Again, there's no crowd. It's only 3-on-3. The characters have no personality. They're just robots in wheelchairs or people wearing, like, I don't know, the full BMX and helmet kind of gear. Looks like you can customize it a little bit with like colors and interesting helmets, but I mean, you look at Smash Brothers. That's let's Splatoon, right? That's that has character, that has style. What's the stretchy arms one? Arms. That has character, that has style. It's like, I don't know who the developer is on Dragon Drive, but I think they should delay that one a year because that doesn't look ready. It's just not appealing at all. I mean, other than just as a concept, super cool concept. Speaking of which, using the Joy-Con as a mouse is a neat idea. I don't know that I'd want to actually play any game like that, driving around on a mouse. And I always thought, my first thought was like, okay, but again, I play games on the couch. I'm not seated at a table or a desk because I'm playing a console on my TV. I mean, I suppose I could like do it on my pant leg or something. And they did make mention several times that it's like, oh yeah, it can work on the pant leg. I'm like, does it now? How well does it work on the pant leg? But I've been playing around with this Joy-Con, trying to, and I don't think I would want to use this as a mouse for more than 15 minutes. I think that would strain my wrist after a while, because pinching something... Now, granted, the Switch 2 Joy-Cons are, from what I understand, they're exactly the same width, but I think they're a little bit taller, so maybe they're more comfortable to use, but actually trying to use the buttons, the stick would be almost impossible, but trying to use the buttons on the side, the clickies on the end, as long as they don't make you use buttons other than the ones on the end, it might be fine for a while, but I don't know. Also, the Dragon Drive presentation on Treehouse, it looked, either that game controls like absolute butt, or all of the Treehouse presenters only had like an hour with the game that morning because none of them could play it at all. It was kind of a really bad showing for that game. Also in the demo for Metroid, they were swapping back and forth between regular controls and mouse controls, and I don't know if the mouse thing just doesn't work well, or the presenter only had a few minutes that morning to practice, but he couldn't hit a damn thing even with the mouse controls. He really struggled aiming properly with the mouse controls. Maybe it's a technical issue. Maybe it was maybe they just didn't give the presenters enough time with the games to get comfortable with them. Could have just been stage fright, or maybe this just doesn't work that well. I don't know. Let's see. I figured it'd be 400 on the low end and 5 on the high end. So yeah, that's right where you thought it would be. Jared says, if it wasn't mouse based, I might pick it up. Oh, the Dragon Drive? Yeah, I mean, it's like I mean the dual mouse kind of thing. I get what they're doing, and that's really neat. But I think a lot of people are going to be like, okay, I get what you're doing, and that's really neat. Can I just use a controller? I still want to play wheelchair basketball. That's super cool. But I don't know if I actually want to play it like that. It's just give me a controller with buttons. It's just the button. I don't. Even back as far as the Wii, I don't want to do this. I don't want to jump by doing this on the controller. No one wants to play the game like that. It's novel, sure. It's kind of funny in a group setting for, for 15, 20 minutes, but if you're sitting down to play a game, it's just like I don't want to think about the controller. I just want to play the game. Um they need an alternative for people who don't have a table or anything. Yeah, it's called your pant leg. You just use it. I'm like, what if I'm wearing shorts? you know? My white fleshy skin, will it be able to figure it out? Will my leg hairs get caught in the sensor? Oh, that would be terrible. If you were like running the mouse across your leg and you got like a leg hair caught, and you just ended up and you're like and you just end up ripping hair out of your leg. Oh, Nintendo sued by poor gamer who yanks hair out of their thigh with the Joy-Con. Oh man. Remember when people are throwing their Wii remotes into TVs? Nintendo was like, guys, we gave you the wrist strap. We gave you the Wii condom, and you're still destroying your TVs. Please stop that. Let's see. Was there anything else that I wanted to talk about? The group chat thing is, it's fine. What is interesting is apparently Switch 2 is mostly backwards compatible with the Switch. There's some that don't work for obvious reasons, like the some of the Joy-Con stuff won't work because of the physical size difference. Just doesn't fit. That's understandable. But Nintendo published a list of games, and they've got like 120 of them. It's like, yeah, these just don't even start. Now there's a couple ways to do that. If I'm remembering right, the original PlayStation 2 was backwards compatible with the PlayStation 1 because the PlayStation 2 literally had a PS1 chip in it. Right? That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is software emulation. You basically have the hardware running code that pretends the hardware is the old hardware so that the old game will run, right? At varying levels of success. My understanding from the way they described it in the developer interview for the Switch 2 is Switch 2 kind of doing a different thing. Instead of emulating the hardware so that the old game can run on it, it's kind of translating the information it's getting from the Switch 2 into a form that from the Switch 1 game that the Switch 2 can run. Right? So I think I still have the interview up here somewhere. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. We tried using technology like software emulators. We'd have to run Switch 2 at full capacity, and that would mean the battery wouldn't last so long. So we did something that's somewhere in between a software emulator and hardware compatibility. Bit technical, but the process is converting game data for Switch to run on Switch 2, which is performed on a real-time basis as the data is read in. So it's like having Switch games simultaneously translated for Switch 2. Yeah, and they go on and talk about that. So I'm not sure exactly the technical details, but interesting. But what that allows them to do is do the group chat stuff with old Switch games without reprogramming the original games, because you have this layer that's translating the old Switch 1 games into a format that Switch 2 understands, and it's like, oh, I know what that is, so we can do the game chat stuff with it. So that's neat. Again, a feature that I don't care about at all. I found the Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild games that are being enhanced for the for the Switch 2. They're getting a bump in resolution and frame rate, but they're also getting a phone app, which is um, fine and has some nice stuff like you can transfer your in Tears of the Kingdom, the stuff you glue all the objects together, and instead of just showing what, like when Brian was doing his YouTube channel where he was showing off a bunch of different physics contraptions that he made in Tears of the Kingdom, instead of just showing what he was making, he could have displayed a QR code. It's like, and now you can use it yourself. Um, and it just amuses me that they built a phone app because they clearly didn't want to like redo the game. These aren't really new versions of the games. They just apparently run better on the new hardware, and they just made a separate app on a phone to add some interesting functionality, like a there's a GPS thing where you can mark a spot on your map, and Siri essentially will go southwest for 700 meters or whatever. you know um that's kind of funny. uh I don't know how it's kind of, I don't know, it's fine, it's novel. I don't think it's really a selling point. um and I really, just as a personal thing, I really hope that the next Zelda game uh doesn't has a new format, because I really don't care for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's just not how I liked Zelda. Um, on the other hand, I haven't played Echoes of Wisdom, whatever it's called yet, and new Hyrule Warriors is coming out. So, boy, that was a bad trailer for Hyrule Warriors: Age of Extinction, Calamity, Age of, what the hell is it called? Where is it? Age of Imprisonment. Bad trailer. I mean, you've got one job with a Muso game: put lots of enemies here, put your one dude here, and have him beat up all the enemies. And they didn't do that in the trailer. I also thought the From Software game was a really bad trailer because it didn't show. I mean, when you have they had an interview with the hardware people behind the Switch 2 on Nintendo's website. That makes sense. But then they had an interview with the creative people behind the Dusk Bloods, I think it's called, to explain what the hell is this game. Because you certainly couldn't tell from watching the trailer. I mean, you can get a vibe, you can get the atmosphere, but it's like, is this a single player game? Is this a multiplayer game? According to them, it's a multiplayer game. It's a PvPvE kind of a game. But you wouldn't really know that from watching the trailer, because the trailer was mostly, not exclusively, but mostly environmental shots. Pretty, but environmental shots and character shots. And most of the characters were just kind of standing around or striking a pose. There was some neat stuff. I like the big betitted frog thing with the big Cheshire grin. I thought that's a funny character design. And then there's the one guy whose upper half turns into a T-Rex and then he munches on someone else. No context for that, but it was still funny even without it. And then they had this I think in the recording I do I do something like that because it ends with a close-up so close that you can't really appreciate the character design, which I get the sense that they wanted you to. There's this winged rat thing, but it's cropped so close that you can't really appreciate what it looks like. And it doesn't do anything. It just kind of looks at the camera. It's like, and what's the game? I mean, seriously, if you have enthusiast sites writing articles like Elden Ring director Hidetaka Miyazaki explains what you actually do in Bloodborne looking at multiplayer Switch 2 exclusive Dusk Bloods. It's kind of telling that the only game developer hey, come in here, talk about your game. The only one they did was Duskblood. It's like, oh god, we got to get these people in here and explain what the hell this is. It's not Bloodborne 2, guys. Come on. Yeah. There's some games I'm looking forward to. Kirby Air Riders, can't say it's one of them. Granted, they didn't show anything with the game other than we're making Kirby Air Riders. No one asked for it, but that's okay. Yet sometimes you don't know what you want until it's served. And I'm glad. Hopefully, Masahiro Sakurai is having a blast making that game. I'm sure it's. I hope it's less stressful than Smash Brothers. Um, but yeah, it was just a pre-rendered scene. And at first, I was like, "Oh, this looks no. Oh, that's pre-rendered. Yeah, that's not real-time footage. That's not what the game looks like." Um, so yeah, for me, oh, who was asking for a sequel to Daemon X Machina? No one liked that game. I'm sure someone liked that game, but I was genuinely surprised to see a sequel to that. Came out like 4 or 5 years ago for the Switch, and like no one really liked it. The reviews were bad. It didn't sell well. I think they ported it to the PC and no one cared. I, I mean, good luck with the sequel. Um, yeah, looking forward to Metroid. Looking forward to Rhythm Heaven, and looking forward to Donkey Kong Bonanza. And that's about it. So yeah, I will not be getting the Switch 2 at launch. Because there's nothing launching with the system that I want to play. The first game I want to play, the first game that I currently know of that I want to play is Donkey Kong, and that's not out till July. But I also don't really want to pay $70 for Donkey Kong, and Nintendo's not really good about dropping the price of its first party games, so we shall see. And then Metroid Prime 4 comes out, I would assume, probably the fall. Um, yeah. A lot of people said they're not going to use the new C button for the chat because they have Discord. Yeah, it puts all. I mean, if everyone has a camera, which no one does, um, it seems to work fine. I mean, I like the fact that they were not shy about the fact that the camera feeds are very low resolution and frame rate, good enough, but didn't seem to be taking away from the main game that you're playing, so that's nice. I don't I don't know that anyone's actually going to use that though. But yeah, we'll see. Again, a lot of features that are like, "Oh, okay, that's kind of neat, but I'll never use it." Right? It's like it kind of feels weird paying $450 for a console. Most of the features that are there to justify that price are things that I'm not going to use. Oh, I will. Let's end on a positive. Let me get through the rest of the chat here. End of the day, I'll buy a Switch 2. Likely not able to pre-order, and we'll just have to get one when I walk in and buy it. Yeah, probably same here. Must have sold well enough, says Chaos. Probably Daemon X Machina. Got a sequel. It's coming to Xbox and PlayStation as well. Yeah, I was just surprised as all. If it's got fans, hey, great, and hope they knock the sequel out of the park. Jared says could wait for Bonanza Switch bundle. Yeah, maybe. Although I do like having physical games, and while there is this thing where they're doing these weird game code things where they're selling a physical digital download key, I would assume that most, if not all, of Nintendo's first party stuff, most of the big games, I would imagine, aren't going to do that. You'll actually have a card with the game actually on the card. Um, oh, I don't. Manufacturing physical hardware is expensive, and if you're publishing a game on a Nintendo platform and you're a newbie developer or a indie or a small studio or something, you may not have the resources to run 500,000 carts, right? So this might be a way to kind of meet in the middle. You get a case and you get a cart. It's a physical key for a digital download, but it's cheaper for you, and you actually get a physical product in a store on store shelves where people can actually see it, and that's valuable. So I don't begrudge anyone who would, in good faith, avail themselves of that of that resource. Um, but I have a feeling that there's like I think who was it? Is it Capcom or someone who like Street Fighter 6 is going to do that? It's like Capcom, you don't need to do that. Don't do that. And if it's not Capcom, then my apologies. But one of the bigger third parties, I remember someone saying their game is going to be that key, and that's don't do that. Don't don't do that. Physical game key are no different than what Call of Duty's, but yeah, I still don't like it. I don't think 70 for physical is a bad thing. I do, but I'm a cheapskate, so you know. All right, I was going to end on the positive thing, and I forgot what it was. Shoot. Crap. It was. I swear I had a positive thing to end on. What was it? I do not remember. Oh well. Capcom's doing that with Street Fighter 6, and Square's doing it with Bravely Default. And it's only 11 gig game. Oh yeah, the kind of small size too. Oh, the yeah, they're like, and this one has like a multiple time 8 times the storage space as the Switch. It's like this, the Switch had 32 gigs, and like 13 of it was taken up by the operating system. So I was like, I think what is it? Is it 256? And it's like that's not very much. I mean, it kind of depends on what the average size of these games are, but that's still not a lot. And they're like, oh, well, you can put little micro SD cards in there. Okay, I mean, yeah, sure. And they're oh, wait, it's the micro SD Express ones, the really expensive ones? No wonder you're only showing the 256 version of the Express SDs, because those are, Jesus, they're like $80, $90. Um, like seriously, if you want a 1 terabyte micro SD card express version, and what that is it's just a very fast read write speed, somewhat comparable to like the NMV the SSD cards. Um, yeah, like a 1 terabyte's like $200 or something like that. They're really expensive. I mean, I imagine you'll be able to you won't have to move your games back and forth from card to system memory. You can probably play them wherever they are, and that's great. But oh man, I mean, as expensive as the PS5 Pro was, at least it's got like a 1 terabyte hard drive in it. And since I'm a physical gamer, that's probably plenty for me. You know. Um, I still don't remember what the positive thing I was going to say was, and I really wanted to end with that. Chaos says, I have a 512 gig SD card in my Switch, and it's almost full. Yeah, let's see. Chaos says, the Express cards basically cost what regular micro SD cards cost 8 years ago. 256 is 50. Oh, 256 is only 50, huh? I thought I priced it like earlier this week. I thought it was $80, but who knows? Maybe you can get a good deal on it. And 512 is $99. Yeah, that sounds right, because I remember I looked at a terabyte and it was 200. So 512 being $100, not too surprising. Of course, I bet everyone just bought up a bunch of those micro SD Express cards. Probably can't even get them now. um, well, pretend I said a positive thing, and that's how I ended the show. Um, So tomorrow, Trails Cold Steel 1. We will probably finish the game. I think. I mean, I guess there's another boss. The game seems to keep going. We do need to read the last Imperial Chronicles letter, uh, newspaper, and then we need to talk to 2 or 3 different people, and then I guess it's final boss time, and then we're gonna have to save scum and dance with everybody else and see what they have to say. And that. Oh, and then we'll be going over all of my predictions and see how very, very wrong I was. Or if I'm just not wrong yet, and will be proven wrong in later games in the Cold Steel series. So, let's see. 512 on the Switch, says Chaos. Was also 99, but I waited till it was on sale for 60. Okay. All right, so, oh, hey, yeah, I managed to blabber a long time about something that I don't have a lot of passion for at present. How about that? Knowing me, it'll be 4 hours, yeah. All right, so that's it for tonight. Hope you're all looking forward to the Switch 2 with a bit more enthusiasm than I. And hope to see you tomorrow for the rousing conclusion of Trails of Cold Steel, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't bleed into next week. So, a normal person would take 30 minutes, so I should be able to finish it in 4 hours. Okay, sounds good. All right, take care, everyone. Have a good night. Hope to see you tomorrow for some Sunday streaming goodness. Take care. Bye-bye.